With SRN News, I'm Keith Peters in Washington. The U.S. and Iran agree to a 2-week ceasefire as President Trump pulls back on threats.
Iran, the United States, and Israel say they have reached a temporary ceasefire in the war that swept across the Middle East. But there are big questions that still remain. Top of mind is the Strait of Hormuz, the narrow mouth of the Persian Gulf through which 20% of crude oil and natural gas passes in peacetime. Iran insists that its military is still going to control access through the strait, and we've heard from one diplomat that says Iran and Oman, whose territorial waters form the strait, would still be collecting fees from passing ships. This is a big departure from what it had been before. The world largely considers the strait an international waterway that should be free for all.
Correspondent John Gambrell reporting. Meanwhile, Israel intensified its attacks on the Hezbollah militant group in Lebanon, killing at least 182 people. Fired Universities of Wisconsin President Jay Rothman says he's not sure if politics played a role in his termination.
Initially, the regents had asked Rothman to retire or resign or face being fired. Rothman says he considered retiring, but says when they gave him no reason, he decided against it. Rothman says he's not sure if his deal with the Republicans in 2023 to freeze diversity hires while creating a position focused on conservative thought in exchange for the legislature's release of money for employee raises and construction projects played a role. Rothman says he was brought in to make tough decisions.
I have made each of those decisions with what I thought was in the best interest of the Universities of Wisconsin.
I'm Lisa Dwyer.
On Wall Street, the Dow up by 1,325 points. The Nasdaq rose 617. The S&P advanced 165. This is SRN News. A victory for religious freedom in Texas. Correspondent Michael Harrington reports.
A lawsuit filed by a mosque in Plano aimed at preventing street preaching has been dismissed. The Epic Islamic Center filed suit over members of Heritage Grace Community Church gathering on nearby public property to hand out gospel tracts and Bibles to people heading toward the mosque. The plaintiffs point out in court that they were set up 500 feet away from the Islamic Center with a strip mall between them and the building. Michael Harrington reporting.
The Eighth Circuit Court of Appeals has ruled that Iowa can enforce a law that bars teachers from promoting the LGBT agenda to students in kindergarten through the 6th grade and bans some books in libraries and classrooms. The decision vacates a lower court judge's temporary block on the legislation while the lawsuit plays out. The measure was first approved by the Republican majorities in the Iowa House and Senate. This is SRN News.
Give you information you can work with. They got human excrement running all around the place.
Your home smells of feces.
Yes.
People peeing in the streets.
Ooh, do you smell something?
Needles in the streets.
These are not tears. We are vomiting from our eyes.
And yet, what they're worried about? The words you use to call criminals. Because there's a certain stigma they don't want criminals to have to deal with.
Could we talk about something else?
I'm going to give you information that's going to make you have to make a decision, have to do something about what's going on in this country.
Something resembling anything.
If you want to get involved in the conversation, 855-REAL-JOE, 855-732-5563. Check out my classic podcast. There's so much going on the website, but do something. Get involved.
The Joe Messina Show.
Welcome back to another session of Insanity right here on the Joe Messina Show. It's a pleasure to have you with me. I do appreciate the time that you're spending with us here on the air and the chat room, just being part of the solution, right? I want you to be part of the conversation, part of the solution, and I do appreciate the time you're spending with me. I know you could be listening to, 30,000 other shows? I'm exaggerating, but at least this one. But you've chosen me, and I very much appreciate that. And if you're one of those that are looking to troll me, feel free. I enjoy it so much. You have no idea how much I enjoy it. So send your emails. If you get really nasty on your emails, I will read your name. Now, it's been good for a long time. I've not got any, you deserve to die, or you're ugly, or get your teeth fixed, or whatever. I've gotten all those, and you know who those are from, right? So, anyhow, do appreciate the time you're spending with me here on the air and in the chat room and texting and tweeting and just understanding what we're doing, being involved in what we're doing. So, they'll never show you this on mainstream media. They're not going to let it happen. But you're seeing in the streets, you're seeing protests erupt. You're seeing all this stuff going on in Iran, where the people are like, "Bring it on! We want you to take down this regime." They're begging us to do it, and yet those on the left here, who I'm thoroughly convinced just hate Trump so much that they would ruin this country just to prove that Trump was bad, or think that they're proving Trump is bad. Right? But you're seeing this. People are storming into the streets, right? Going after the Iranian Revolutionary Guards. They're taking their hijabs off, burning them in the street. I mean, this is what we want to see. We want to see them fighting for themselves. Okay? And these power structures, the Guard and others, they're being trampled on by the public. They're not letting them get away with it, which is great. Like I said, it's exactly what we want to see, but the left doesn't want you to see that. They want to keep telling you, in essence, how bad we are, how bad what we're doing is, ours, whatever. 855 Real Joe, 855-732-5563. I do appreciate the time. Where did that come from? I do appreciate the time you're spending with me here on the air, in the chat room, texting, tweeting, being part of the company. No, there's nothing wrong with it. Just my voice. Have been working at trying to get rid of that, and it's not going well. No, I mean, I'm not sick. Just having a hard time getting rid of it. All right. Nearly 6 in 10 Americans support limiting birthright citizenship to children of U.S. citizens or legal permanent residents. They agree like we do. There's no reason to let people come in here from another country illegally, plop a kid down, and all of a sudden the kid's an American citizen and they get to take advantage of all the American perks. So most Americans support limiting birthright citizenship. A new Rasmussen report polls revealed that a striking shift in public opinion across the United States. 59% of Americans now support restricting automatic U.S. citizenships to children whose parents are either American citizens or legal permanent residents. Now, for years, millions of Americans have expressed concern about the pressures created by uncontrolled mass migration. You have companies that have set up, right here in California especially, right, where they rent these hotel rooms and they allow people to move in that are ready to give birth. And that way there, those people, they're here on work visas or they're here on, vacation, whatever it is. And they go ahead and give birth. And all of a sudden they're allowed to stay because they gave birth there. Like they didn't know, right? Maybe that's one of the questions on the Visa app. Are you pregnant? And how far along? That simple. So the Rasmussen report survey exposes the reality that political elites frequently ignore. Ordinary citizens, they want order, not chaos. They totally ignore that. He's right. They could care less. Support for reform crosses demographics too, by the way. While conservatives lead the demand for the change, even a significant percentage of independents and a notable share of Democrats recognize that birthright citizenship, as it currently stands, has created a problem for the country. And people are frustrated with it. Democrats as well. Independents as well. So the discussion resurfaces at a time when the U.S. faces historic levels. I mean, think about it. We got all these people that are here, want to stay for not the best reasons. And frankly, we need to start enforcing our laws at the border. We wouldn't even have to talk about this. 59% of Americans backing a change. The message is unmistakable. If 60% of the people are interested in making this change, then why aren't we? Really? What are we afraid of? What are we thinking? Not thinking? Might be thinking? Anyway, Joe Messina, your host. A lot more coming up after the break. You are listening to the Joe Messina Show. We'll be right back.
Have you ever picked up a towel set because it felt really soft in the store, but then when you go to use it, it's not very absorbent? That's why MyPillow has developed the MyPillow towels. Towels that work. The 6-piece towel set includes 2 bath towels, 2 hand towels, and 2 washcloths. And right now you can receive a 6-piece set for only $39.98 with promo code USA. Go to MyPillow.com, click on the radio listener special, and enter promo code USA, or call 800-951-8175. That's MyPillow.com, promo code USA.
Let's see, if something costs less, but people are happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that is MediShare. Maybe you've heard switching to MediShare to pay for healthcare can save many families up to $500 a month, and that is huge. But it's also true that people are way more satisfied after making the switch, too. The member satisfaction rate for MediShare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. MediShare works, too. It's been around for 30 years. Members have shared more than $5 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network. So, yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now. You'll get a price within 2 minutes. So see what you can save. This is a very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. Call 833-34-BIBLE. That's 833-34-BIBLE. 833-34-BIBLE.
If you're a diabetic, we have great news. You can end the painful finger sticks with a new CGM. Plus, they may be covered by Medicare, Medicaid, or private insurance. If you test and inject daily, you may qualify. Call US Med now to learn more.
800-471-7065. 800-471-7065. 800-471-7065. That's 800-471-7065.
Take as little as 3 minutes to see if you could save on motorcycle insurance with Progressive. Come on, you've spent more time than that trying to name your bike.
How about the Crusher? I guess it's not really crushing anything. The Silver Bolt? No. Oh, what about Pepper? Mysterious. Is it a pet or a condiment? Surprise! It's a motorcycle. No, that's stupid.
Get a quote in as little as 3 minutes at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Okay, I'm talking funny because I'm in the witness protection program. I have too much credit card debt and I don't want people to find me.
Okay, I'm just kidding. We're going to talk about credit card debt. Right, those plastic things that we all have in our wallet. Are you in your 50s or 60s and you're still carrying around a mound of credit card debt? Wouldn't it be nice to start banking that money and save a little money for retirement down the road? We help people restructure their credit card debt all the time. We show people how they can get out of credit card debt in months, not years. Listen, you'll be carrying around credit card debt for the rest of your life unless you deal with it right now. We offer a free consultation so you can learn how you can finally wipe out your credit card debt and start saving money. Give us a free call right now.
Call Debt Solutions Network now. 866-451-3328. 866-451-3328. That's 866-451-3328. Do you have a story to tell? Bring your story to life with audiobooks. Great stories deserve great storytelling. Audiobook Network provides professional voice actors and full production services for every author's manuscript. From narration, production, and editing to distribution, promotion, and sales, Audiobook Network handles everything. If you have a print book, ebook, or even a manuscript, call Audiobook Network now and get our free audiobook guide. 800-734-1229. 800-734-1229.
Attention, this is a public notice from the Social Security Disability Helpline. If you're one of the millions of Americans who are disabled and unable to work, you may be eligible for disability benefits from Social Security. Receiving benefits is your right. If you suffer from physical or mental disability, whether you're applying for the first time or you've already been denied, we can help. We'll evaluate your situation and deal with Social Security on your behalf. Best of all, there's no fee until you receive your benefits. Remember, we only get paid if you win your case. There are many reasons and conditions that may make you eligible for disability benefits. Many of them you may not be aware of. So if you're disabled and unable to work, call now to get started with your free, no-obligation consultation.
800-362-9337. 800-362-9337. That's 800-362-9337.
I married your mother because I wanted children. Imagine my disappointment when you arrived.
We are back at it again. Joe Battini, your host. I know how much you like when I say that. Always a pleasure to have you with me. 855-REAL-JOE, 855-732-5563. I do appreciate the time you're spending with me here on the air, in the chat room, texting, tweeting, and truly being part of the conversation. Look, I am so tired of these people on the left who think they know better just because they hate Trump. And I said this before. They'd rather see us fail. They'd rather see the Iranian people get killed and slaughtered in the street after over 60,000 of them have been killed and continue to be killed on a daily basis, right? But they need to put Trump down because they need to make sure that the leaders who don't like us to begin with, they know that Trump won't have the support at home he needs to really put the money and the effort into what he needs to do in Iran. So I'm loving this. I'm thinking you're showing who you actually are. But I tell you what I'd like to do, if you let me for a minute. I want you to actually see the Iranian people, what they're doing, and how much they appreciate what we're doing for them. And I know some of you can't see it because it's radio, but I want you to hear it.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank
you. These are Persian Americans who took over the street. Well, they took over an LA beach to celebrate and thank President Trump.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
They're waving Iranian flags. They're waving Israeli flags. They're waving American flags. They want us to understand how much they appreciate what we've done for them. And if you can't, I would have to have a Dem come on and explain to me why this is bad. You're going to tell me this is just a small group? It's not real or whatever? No, really. I sometimes they won't talk to you anyway. When you try to talk with them, you've seen it. They walk away. It's like, how about you enlighten me? Talk to me. Tell me why you're doing what you're doing. That stinks. Okay, there you go. Otherwise, you're part of the problem. All right, so let's listen to this. This is another celebration, and I'm seeing Iranian flags, I'm seeing American flags, I'm seeing Israeli flags. Really sounds like a group of people that wants nothing to do with us, right? God, you people are amazing. Now, some of you can't see this, obviously, with this radio, but they are dancing in the streets of Los Angeles. Okay? They've got Iranian flags on buses. They have people singing. They have American Iranian flags kind of sewn together, which I know some of you take that as an insult. I don't. I think it just shows you don't rain on their parade, okay? They're so excited about the freedom they're getting now, that their family members are getting, that people are getting, and they're just celebrating. We can't imagine that. If you've got family members that have been through this, like I do from, Italian immigrants, if you have family members that have been through true fascism, not the stuff they're trying to sell you in the streets or these kids are trying to tell you is fascism, because that's what their professor or their Democrat influencer told them, right? If you have family members that have actually been through it, have them talk to your kids. If you know people around you that have been through it, have them talk to your kids. I'm not joking. I'm dead serious. I have family members that were part of this. I have family members that were, in Italy when all the stuff was going down. So I have to sit there and say to you, again, unless you know, you little young Karens, you get out there and you're getting on the case of the Iranian women. You're telling them what they're telling you is not true. I've got somebody coming on the show Friday night that actually lived the Sharia nightmare. A white woman from here lived the Sharia nightmare. There's no reason for it. We know better. Okay, the next thing I'm going to play, some of you may not be able to see, again, Iranians in Greece have set up memorials for the American soldiers that have died, in Iran, protecting them, fighting for their freedom, okay? How you fight this, I don't know. You have to be one cold-hearted SOB to fight this like this. Oh, come on. Oh, there you go. Sometimes you just gotta look. Now, I know you can't see it, but they got Iranian flags and American flags and Israeli flags surrounding the memorial. And they're laying flowers, roses and all that. Some of you are sitting there in your obstinate little way saying, oh, that's not going to bring it back to life, Joe. Well, you know what? They knew partially what they were going into. They really did. And they loved freedom so much. They wanted others to taste the freedom we had. 47 years, Iran has been antagonizing the globe. 47 years. They killed our people, been killing our people for years. And you can't get out of your own hate. The hate is blinding you. Right? You try to say that we're so sold out to Trump that we can't see his shortcomings. You know what? You've been backing a bunch of liars most of your life. Every time you voted for a president, and I'm going to tell you, mostly Democrats, every time you voted for that president who said he was going to, Iran couldn't get a nuke, and Iran couldn't this, and Iran couldn't that. And guess what happened? They got it. And you did nothing to stop. Matter of fact, Joey B gave them billions. Barack Obama gave them billions. And that was okay, I guess. You guys felt that was fine. All right, CNN had a Eat Crow too. This is great. They had to admit that it's not controversial for voter ID. Take a watch, take a listen. This is great. I love this. Okay. And we knew that. Didn't we know that was going to happen? Because that always happens that way, doesn't it? There you go. All right, here we go.
Will make the argument that people of color, non-white Americans, have a harder time procuring a photo ID to vote. But even here, take a look here. Favorite photo ID to vote. 85% of white people favor it. 82% of Latino. 76% of black Americans favor it. So the bottom line is this. Voter ID is not controversial in this country. A photo ID to vote is not controversial in this country. It is not controversial by party, and it is not controversial by race. The vast majority of Americans agree with Nicki Minaj that, in fact, you should have a photo ID to be able to vote.
That's wonderful. We knew that. We'll be back in a few minutes. Don't go far.
Attention homeowners. It's not if something's going to break, it's when.
That's home ownership. If your dryer, your refrigerator, or your AC and heating breaks, that's an expensive call. And who do you call? Make it easy on yourself and call Choice Home Warranty. We've already done the research and have access to 25,000 technicians that can be at your home quickly. We've covered close to 2 million homes in the United States. There's a good chance your neighbors work with us. Call us right now before the next breakdown. We'll tell you everything that's covered in your home and give you the first month free with our ironclad 30-day money-back guarantee. Call now and learn how to get your free month.
800-378-2250. 800-378-2250. 800-378-2250. That's 800-378-2250.
Limitations and exclusions apply. First month free with purchase of single plan. Visit choicehomewarranty.com for more details.
Life is full of surprises. Some wonderful, some not so much. But here's one thing you can control: making sure your loved ones are protected if the unexpected happens. At easyplans.com, we make getting life insurance, well, easy. In just a few minutes, you can apply online and buy direct. No awkward phone calls, no confusing jargon, and no agent will contact you unless you request help. Just clear, affordable coverage, designed to fit your life and your budget. Fast approval, flexible plans, and unlike other online insurance sites, Easy Plans won't sell your information to others. So no endless phone calls and text messages. Whether you're just starting a family, buying a home, or thinking ahead, EasyPlans.com has you covered. EasyPlans.com. We make buying life insurance, well, easy.
With SRN News, I'm Keith Peters in Washington. The U.S. and Iran agree to a 2-week ceasefire as President Trump pulls back on threats.
Iran, the United States, and Israel say they have reached a temporary ceasefire in the war that swept across the Middle East. But there are big questions that still remain. Top of mind is the Strait of Hormuz, the narrow mouth of the Persian Gulf through which 20% of crude oil and natural gas passes in peacetime. Iran insists that its military is still going to control access through the strait, and we've heard from one diplomat that says Iran and Oman, whose territorial waters form the strait, would still be collecting fees from passing ships. This is a big departure from what it had been before. The world largely considers the strait an international waterway that should be free for all.
Correspondent John Gambrell reporting. Meanwhile, Israel intensified its attacks on the Hezbollah militant group in Lebanon, killing at least 182 people. Fired Universities of Wisconsin President Jay Rothman says he's not sure if politics played a role in his termination.
Initially, the regents had asked Rothman to retire or resign or face being fired. Rothman says he considered retiring, but says when they gave him no reason, he decided against it. Rothman says he's not sure if his deal with the Republicans in 2023 to freeze diversity hires while creating a position focused on conservative thought in exchange for the legislature's release of money for employee raises and construction projects played a role. Rothman says he was brought in to make tough decisions.
I have made each of those decisions with what I thought was in the best interest of the Universities of Wisconsin.
I'm Lisa Dwyer.
On Wall Street, the Dow up by 1,325 points. The Nasdaq rose 617. The S&P advanced 165. This is SRN News. A victory for religious freedom in Texas. Correspondent Michael Harrington reports.
A lawsuit.
We're back at it. Joe Messina, your host. Always a pleasure to have you with me. 855-REAL-JOE, 855-732-5563. Get involved, get engaged, be part of the solution. It's the way we win. I know some of you guys are saying, hey, look, can't you come up with a better line than that? Yeah, actually I could. I'm not going to, but I could. But in all seriousness, right? I mean, get involved, get engaged, find out what's going on so you can be part of the solution. And you do that by having the information you need, like I always say. Well, there was a massive fire in Los Angeles County yesterday. Sorry, not Los Angeles County. Further south. Now, it was previously reported that a massive 6-alarm fire totally engulfed a 1 million square foot warehouse in Ontario, California. The blaze broke out just after midnight on Tuesday morning. Now, the Ontario Fire Department was battling that six-alarm warehouse fire. The building contained paper products. Oh, my God, that's tough. Units from many neighboring departments are on the scene supporting the suppression efforts. The police arrested arson suspect Chamel, Abdul Karim, 29, a disgruntled employee of a third party distribution partner. Now, it ripped through that whole Kimberly-Clark district. You know how many people lost their jobs? Right? In that shift alone, there were 20 people. So they had to be, they didn't have to be rescued. They got out. The Ontario police have identified a suspect. Now, while initially believed to be Kimberly-Clark staffer, officials clarified he was an employee of another company, a third-party distribution partner. So, again, the guy was mad that he wasn't being paid enough money. He said, all you had to do was pay us enough money to blanking live. You know what? Sorry, get another job. Is that the only job you could get? No, just asking. Fellow local just shared the footage of that video, and it was reportedly passed along by Kimberly-Clark by Kimberly-Clark NFI warehouse employee who received it from someone on site, from a social media, site. So again, you get to burn the warehouse down because they didn't pay you enough money. I mean, you're talking about, this is toilet paper, paper towels, paper goods. It's just amazing. And it was a million square feet. You put people out of work, and you didn't hurt them. The insurance companies will pay it. Right? Just amazing. Anyway, 855-REAL-JOE, 855-732. That's what we do now. We go to violence when we don't like what we're being fed or given. Well, just in, the FBI arrested former Army Specialist Operations employee for leaking classified national defense information. And it's a young person. And you look at this and you go, really? So when, again, you don't like it. You don't like the way it's going down. So you get to do what you want to do. You think you're being righteous and real? You're not. You're not. You put people's lives in danger. You're not. The FBI arrested a former Special Operations Command employee for leaking classified national defense information to the media. Courtney Williams, 40 years old, of Wagram, North Carolina, allegedly transmitted classified material to individuals not authorized to see it. Let me see. That was according to the DOJ. She was arrested on Tuesday and indicted by a federal grand jury on Wednesday. Oh, this is moving at lightning speed, which is the way it should. Right? Can't have it. It was outstanding work by the FBI, don't you think? Seriously. One of the FBI officials said, let this serve as a message to any would-be leakers. We're working in these cases. We're making arrests. We're not going to tolerate those who seek to betray our country. It should be treason. I was listening today to some information on our founding fathers and in the early years and the court system in the early years. If you were sentenced to death in the early days of this country, you may have had 10 or 12 days to live max. And when it came to treason, it was almost always unanimous. Because they love this country. The people on those juries love this country. Right? Anyway. There are people inside the FBI, I always kind of push on this, but I also need to say there are people inside the FBI agents, and I know some. I got family members that are FBI agents, or were. They're retired now. That will tell you, a lot of the stuff that slows them down is management, upper level agents. But there's still a lot of them there care about this country, love this country. According to federal prosecutors, between 2022 and 2025, Williams disclosed top secret classified information with the journalist via phone and text messaging. Right? Clearance holders accept a solemn obligation to protect classified information entrusted to them. So we'll see how this plays out. Right? My problem is that these judges, they don't seem to care. It's not important to them to uphold the law. It's important to them just to decide what they think is real and true. So, anyway, let me see. There was a comment in here by her, and I want to read it. After the communications with Williams, the journalist that she was sending information to published a book, an article that named Williams as a source and attributed specific statements to her. Some of these statements contained classified national defense information in addition to her disclosures. On the day the article and the book were published, Williams exchanged several messages with the journalist. In one such message, Williams stated that she was concerned about the amount of classified information being disclosed. In a separate message to a third party, Williams added that I might actually get arrested. She knew it. Williams cited a statutory provision of the Espionage Act, and when asked how she knew that she may face legal consequences for disclosures, Williams responded, I've known my entire career, adding that they tell you every day, 100 times a day. So I'm glad that she knew. She knew she was sticking her neck out for. Should we have any sympathy for her? Should we care? She might get life in jail for some of the information she gave out. Is that fair? Is that right? I think it is, because you're putting people's lives on the line. I mean, that information is about what's going on, who's stationed where, how, when, and why. It's just wrong any way you look at it. And you guys, you really need to stop. You really need to stop, you know? Anyhow, 855-REAL-JOE, 855-732-5563. Get involved, get engaged, be part of the solution. So I saw a recent article. I shouldn't say article. It was research that was done about gun violence. And it's always amazing when you see this. So this was gun violence, and it was laid out in colors. And if I can, let me see if I can get it up on the screen. Some of you can see it, some of you won't be able to watch it, or you can get it later on. And I'll do my best to try to explain this to you. Okay? But if you're looking at the screen and you see the map of the United States, every area in red, there was virtually no gun violence. Virtually none. The majority, 97% of the gun violence take place in the blue areas. Now, for those of you who don't have a screen, obviously, those areas pretty much run from the upper left hand, West Coast, upper left side, in the state of Washington, runs all the way down the coast, and I mean all the way down the coast, okay, into Texas. And that's where 97% of the violence is. Now, there are scattered blue areas throughout the country, right? New Jersey, New York, who has some of the strictest gun laws there are. So there's little places all around. I'm looking at Vermont, New Hampshire. And you look at that and you say, okay, help me understand here. You're looking at this. You're looking at the map. You're looking at the information. And you're going to say that guns cause problems. Those people in the middle of the country, they got a boatload of guns. Be back in a minute. Don't go far.
Omaha Steaks is rewriting the book on burgers with an all-new handmade texture for the juiciest home-style burgers you've ever tasted. Their pure ground burgers are made from single cuts of real aged Omaha steaks. These are truly steaks on a bun. Filet mignon, ribeye, New York strip, sirloin, and even brisket burgers. Now is the time to experience the exclusive Burger Perfection Flight for just $79.99. Go to omahasteaks.com and use promo code TREAT at checkout to get an extra $20 off your order plus free shipping. You'll get 4 of each pure ground burger so you can sample all the steak on a bun greatness. These burgers are crafted for a juicier, more tender experience, making your mouth water with every single bite. Don't wait. Go to omahasteaks.com. Use promo code TREAT at checkout and get $20 off the Burger Perfection Flight and discover your new burger obsession. Minimum order may be required.
Right now, you can eliminate odors, mold, mildew, bacteria, and viruses in your home with the Eden Pure Thunderstorm Air Purifier. The Eden Pure Thunderstorm uses oxy technology that naturally sends out O3 molecules that seek out and destroy odors. The Thunderstorm doesn't mask or cover up bad smells, it eliminates them, leaving that fresh, clean smell, just like after a thunderstorm. The Thunderstorm is small, plugs right into the wall, and fits in the palm of your hand. Put one in your basement, bedroom, family room, kitchen, or anywhere you want clean, fresh air. It even includes a USB cord for your car or truck. Right now, save $200 on an Eden Pure Thunderstorm 3-pack for whole home protection. That's 3 units for under $200, a fraction of the cost compared to other air purifiers. Go to EdenPureDeals.com and use discount code USA3 to save $200. That's EdenPureDeals.com. Use USA and the number 3. Shipping is free.
We're definitely going to be late to the concert. I feel like we should be there by now.
I'm just taking a little detour. I gotta fill up my gas tank, and I know this place a couple towns over where the gas is cheaper.
Are you serious? We're gonna be late for the concert because you're driving out of the way for cheaper gas? Just use Upside.
What's Upside?
Upside is the free cashback app that gets you real cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait, I can get cash back just for buying the gas I need anyway?
Yes, I use it all the time, and I've made around $200. Now pull over so you can download the Upside app before we miss the concert.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code PHIL25 to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime, right to your bank, PayPal, or as a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code PHIL25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code PHIL25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus. That's code PHIL25.
I've got a unique vacation idea for you that's right here in the United States. If you're ready for a vacation that's fun and downright affordable, listen up. It's driving distance for many of you, so no planes, no airline delays, no hassles. It's Branson, Missouri, the entertainment capital of the Midwest. Live music for everyone. Branson has 3 beautiful, enormous lakes, water attractions, live shows, great food, and tons of entertainment. It's a perfect vacation for you and your family, or if you're retired and you want to have a great time. And you can stay in Branson for as low as $99 a night. Please understand, this is not a timeshare offer. It's a real vacation for as little as $99 a night. We've got a free vacation guide we want to send you right now. All you have to do is call for complete details. Get your free Branson, Missouri guide right now by calling this number.
800-399-4215. 800-399-4215. 800-399-4215. That's 800-399-4215. You've been working hard, doing the right thing, and paying your taxes, and putting your hard-earned money in the Medicare piggy bank all your life. And now it's time to break the piggy bank and get something back. Medicare. If you didn't know it, Medicare is health insurance for people over 65, and you paid for it with your tax dollars. Medicare plans now have more benefits than ever. That's good news, especially if you're like me and looking forward to paying as little as possible for good health insurance. Call and find out what Medicare plan is best for you. Save your time. It's valuable. We've already done the research for you, and in one quick phone call, you can learn how to get the best Medicare plan designed exactly for you. Hey, it's one of the most important decisions in your life. Let us help you through it. Here's our number. Call 65 Plus Medicare now. 800-778-8214. 800-778-8214. That's 800-778-8214.
Can't you see what I'm trying to tell you? I love you. Why don't you marry me?
Why, marry you?
You take me and I'll take a vacation. I'll need a vacation if we're going to get married.
We're back at it again. Joe Messina, your host. Always a pleasure. So much appreciate the time you're spending with me here on the air, in the chat room, texting, tweeting, and being part of the conversation. Got a lot I want to try to get through, a lot I want to talk about here. And you got, even when you got Stephen A. Smith to the point where he can't take it anymore, which I like. He's a very, very emotional guy, and I mean that in a positive way. But even when you got Stephen A. Smith out there having a hemorrhage that his party has lost its way. Party lost its way years ago. I have lifelong Democrats in my family who say the same thing. They lost their way years ago. They don't know what's happened to them. Or to it, I should say. So, here he is. He's mad. He's miffed. And let's hear from Stephen. Maybe. You know how this goes.
Arguably the leading candidate for the presidency in 2028. And you had him in front of your face, and what you asked him? Did you ask him about the homeless crisis? Did you ask him about the bullet train, where billions haven't been accounted for? Did you ask him about the taxes in the state of California? Highest in the country. Any relief in sight whatsoever? No, they're trying to raise them. Did you ask him about that? The oil industry regulation. Isn't the state of California getting oil from the Bahamas? Did you ask him about that? Anything at all? Anything? How about fraud when it came to COVID and the COVID payments? I watched the entire interview from start to finish. You never asked that man that question. Not one of them damn questions.
He's so right. Think about it. They didn't do it to Joe Biden. They don't do it to any of their candidates or any of the Dems that cause trouble, that have their own set of issues. They won't do it. We all know that. And I don't know what you're going to do. I don't know what you're going to do. I know what I'm going to do, but I don't know generically what you do to fix that. Right? Again, guys, you got to pay attention. It's really funny. You see the MAHA, Make America Healthy Again. Now the judges, again, getting involved where they shouldn't, pushing back, stopping, Robert Kennedy Jr. from doing good work, really laying out and telling people what's in this food, what's wrong. A little over 100 years ago, I know, 100 years ago, right? A little over 100 years ago, all dairy was raw. They didn't pasteurize anything. Did we lose people? Probably. Not like we have today. All honey was raw. Seed oils didn't exist. Right? The GMO foods, they didn't exist either. Right? Synthetic dyes didn't exist. Plant-based meat didn't exist. High-fruit corn syrup didn't exist. Isn't that amazing? Autoimmune diseases, heart disease, cancer, obesity were rare. Extremely rare. Not kind of sort of rare. Extremely rare. So I'm sorry. Tell me how modern, taking care of these foods or dealing with these foods in a more modern way, how they help. Can anybody tell me that? I don't think you can. Not scientifically, anyway. Isn't that what you want me to follow? All right. So now I got another bone to pick. We talk about education on a regular basis, and here's one. I've run across these several times. Let's see if you can take a listen and really, really understand what this guy's saying. Because it's true. Certain things that we've taken away from our kids has actually dumbed them down, not made it better. Take a listen.
Over and over again, that when you type something into your phone, when you type, actually, if you're actually typing on a machine like a keyboard, there's only around 9 neural pathways that get activated. When you print, there's something like 37. But when you use cursive, there's like hundreds of different neural pathways that get activated. Therefore, if you write something down, a to-do, in cursive, your brain is much more engaged. You don't forget it. And your subconscious starts working on it infinitely more than you would if you just typed it into a phone or a computer.
Why is that so hard? Right? And yet we're pushing more technology in the classroom. Not less, more. I think part of it is, frankly, like they did in days gone by. I think it's because they're trying to dumb us down. No, I'm entitled. Right? I mean, everybody else is entitled. Why can't I be entitled? You know what I'm saying? But in all seriousness. So let's work at helping our kids out. Let's work at getting with your school boards, getting with your, I don't know, some cities, go to the city council, whatever it takes to make sure that your sons and daughters, your grandsons and granddaughters are learning the truth. And they're learning, truly learning, and not just being talked at. All right. Here's one that's a little religious, but you can get over it.
No middle with Islam. There is no middle with communism and Marxism. There is no way between Jesus and jihad. There's no way between Jesus and Marxism. There's no way between Jesus and transgenderism. There's no way between Jesus and feminism. There is right and wrong. There is good and evil. There are truth and lies. There is heaven and hell. And there is God and Satan. And if you're in the middle, you're wrong. There is no middle.
So true. Lukewarm. Can't be lukewarm. Okay, I mean, seriously, you either stand for something. There are people, these Democrats, some of these Democrats, there are people that are willing to die for what they believe. Well, we aren't. I mean, most Christians, no. I mean, if they said, I'm taking your head off, or you renounce Christ, one of the two, there'd be a lot of Christ renouncing going on. Right? To me, it's just amazing. All right. Let's talk a little bit about them coming after Trump again. Trump is being sued again, which I think it's kind of funny because they just go and suit after suit after suit, hoping to wear him down or get rid of his money. Good luck. The world's largest association of historians is suing the Trump administration over a recent effort to justify President keeping his official records rather than turning them over to the National Archives. Now, the American Historical Association and the second organization, American Oversight, they filed a suit in Washington, D.C. They describe the case as nothing more than trying to preserve historical records. Because we know that Trump doesn't want you to preserve historical records, right? It's amazing to me. Of all the things, you're just going to keep going after him for all this garbage stuff. And I don't believe it's about preservation. I just believe it's about slowing him down and having him redirected. So last week, the Department of Justice's Office of Legal Counsel, so they issued an advisory opinion that stated Trump need not further comply with the decades-old law governing the handover of presidential records for public preservation after a president leaves office. The American Oversight, which is a nonprofit watchdog group, and the American Historical Association, which was founded in 1884, and is comprised of more than 10,000 historians, are asking a federal judge to declare that the Presidential Records Act is constitutional and to block Trump from using the opinion to justify keeping official records. Now, the administration's actions nullify a law duly enacted by Congress based on legal determination that said the decision of the Supreme Court violated the separation of powers. See, and again, I wish they would go back and they don't do it. Can we just be honest about it? They don't do it. Okay? And you're looking at, if they would just go look at the Constitution, if they would just operate under the Constitution, if they would stop deciding what's right, what's wrong. Remember, he was already accused of violating the Presidential Records Act because he stored boxes of sensitive presidential records at his Mar-a-Lago estate that happened to be surrounded by Secret Service agents, right? He was indicted for allegedly retaining classified information and obstructing justice. Though the case was dismissed over the U.S. District Judge Aileen Cannon's concerns about the appointment of special counsel. Right? So all of this went down. He had, you guys already know this. Most of you guys already know this. Secret Service agents were there 24/7, so I don't know who they thought was going to steal it. And yet, Joe Biden's nilly-willy storage of his presidential papers in his garage, behind his Corvette, they found to be no problem. Got it. Joe Messina, your host. Be back with you in a little bit. Don't go far.
With SRN News, I'm Bob Agnew in Washington. Ryan Routh, found guilty of trying to assassinate Donald Trump at his Florida golf course in 2024, has been sentenced to life in prison.